Welcome back to Newsmaker Live. We're talking consumer issues, and of course, we have this subject tonight because of this major development in the supermarket industry. CFL, Consolidated Foods Limited, taking over GL Foods because that company was not realizing the profits or even breaking even as it wanted to or expected to when it came into the market in 2010, and as a result, CFL has bought over GL Foods, and part of the reason, as we were discussing during the break, is to secure or save some of the jobs, because a number of people would have lost their jobs if GL were to close down. But I mean, when you consider all these things, the question that some people would ask is, why couldn't another company other than CFL buy over GL Foods? I know you're not in a position, since you're not a principal of CFL. So let's take this call. Good evening, caller. Please go ahead with your question.
Yes, my brother. What I'm saying that I heard that it's about 10 years that a legislation have not signed.
Yeah, the consumer protection legislation.
For 10 years?
Yeah, it has been in existence.
Mm-hmm. This is not uncommon in our jurisdiction, because I mean we talk about the Broadcast Act that has been drafted. We talk about Freedom of Information Act, and I'm talking from a communication standpoint that these are very important, and they have been in draft form for the longest while. And right now we're just trying to get traction on them so that they can be passed in the House of Parliament. So I mean, it just takes a long time. But they need some champions. They need some advocates to push the legislators to do something about it.
Yes, what I'm saying, I mean, things like that should not be take so long to be done, because consumers affairs and things like that.
Very true, very true. And I thank you for your question, Mr. Polius. Let's go back to that. I mean, taking 10 years, and yes, you have a meeting with the consumer minister. What exactly do you hope to come out of that meeting on Friday?
Well, we are discussing other issues with her, including their merger. We're hoping that she can give us that she have received certain assurances and she can pass them on to us with regard to whatever happens from there, from the takeover. It will not be in any way. It will not in any way adversely affect the consumers' pockets. We are hoping to get that assurance from her. We are hoping to bring up with her the issue of further items on price control if there's a potential for abuse, because that potential is always there when there is a monopoly situation, and the challenges that go with price control. Because, for example, one of the things I know that the people at the price control department have, cheese, for example, is price control. But you find that cheese comes from New Zealand, and the freight cost, as long as the price of oil goes up, then the price of cheese invariably goes up. But the price control cannot tell you the difference between new cheese and old cheese. So you find that price sometimes...
You just have to smell it.
But sometimes you find that you don't know whether the old cheese is at old prices or the new cheese is at new price. So they have some sort of difficulties in this sort of area. Removing, for example, certain items from the price control list. For example, there's a thing where certain sizes of toothpaste are price controlled, whereas the big ones are not price controlled. It doesn't make sense in this day and age. You have, I would suggest that things like toothpaste is remove them off the price control list totally. Just let the market, because you have Aquafresh and you have these different brands. Sorry for mentioning the brand.
Well, I mean, before we used to know all toothpaste as Colgate.
No, not anymore. Crest, Aquafresh.
You have all different brands. I think we have another call.
So, and then bringing, as was told to me, on the price control, things like laundry detergent, because it's really an essential item which you cannot do without. That is not on the price control.
Good evening, caller. Please go ahead with your question.
Good evening, Clinton. It's me again. I don't think Mr. Antoine heard me correctly. I said that TJ is supposed to sell.
Supposed to?
Supposed to. Okay. But they don't. They sell a lot of other products that not bought from.
Now, when you say supposed to sell, is that part of their contractual agreement with
no, they're
CFL?
not. They're supposed to buy mainly from CFL.
No, but what is that supposed
Well,
supposed arrangement with CFL?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, they sell other people's products and they're not penalized.
No, but what I'm saying is, what is the arrangement that they have with CFL? Do they have a contract with CFL to say that
Well, I
as
don't
a
know the
TJ
details
branded?
of it. I suppose Mr. Gordon Charles might be able to give you more information on that. But what I'm saying is that I know they're supposed to sell the product, and they sell a lot of other products that don't belong to CFL. And the other thing again, when people talk about choices and they have no choices, that is not true. Glass supermarkets, Glass has 4 supermarkets, 1 in Castries, 1 in Marysville, and 2 up north. And many times you get stuff at Glass which you cannot get at CFL. So they have a choice. I saw the owner of Dilly's supermarket, and she says Super J's and them have not interfered with her business at all.
But I mean, there are certain people who shop, and these are niche markets, I think.
Yeah.
You know, because when you consider supermarkets, the first thing that comes to your mind is CFL.
Yes.
And there's no way that if CFL were to go at Dilly's or go at Glass, you know, that these supermarkets would be able to compete.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
because of the sheer
Glass,
size and volume.
Yeah. Glass has a very beautiful supermarket in Castries, you know.
That new one where
very beautiful
Linmore's
place.
used to be.
Yeah, Lafayette.
Lafayette, yes.
And now they also have a nice supermarket at Marysville. They have one in the marina, and they have another one by Johnson's Hardware.
That almost sounds like an advertisement. I might have to charge you for that.
I'll have to ask Mr. Glass for some money. But I'm telling you, he sells products that Consolidated Food does not sell. And at very competitive prices too. So let the people know that they have a choice. They have a choice.
But I mean, we have to be realistic as well, because CFL is able to keep its prices at a lower level than any other.
That is correct.
Competitor in the market, because of the volume that they import, because of the volumes that they trade in. So you know, I mean, how could you compete with that? It might be a good thing for consumers that they're doing so much volume, because that means they take advantage of economies of scale and can bring in more product, and as a result pass on those cost savings to the consumers.
Well, I think they're passing it on. But you remember in the old days, all we had was M&C or JQ. Huh?
Well, we're no longer in the old days. We have this, that, and we have the internet as well, so we can actually buy our products via the World Wide Web.
You know, look, Goddard's bought over most of them. Goddard has they own Bryden's, they own Home Depot, they own Sunbuilt.
Yeah.
When you talk about monopoly, I'm telling you.
Yeah, we have a lot of monopolies.
They own a lot of businesses in Lucia, much more than St. Lucian's own.
All right, thanks a lot, caller, for clarifying.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we got that clarification that we were seeking concerning, you know, the arrangements with TJs and CFL, and the caller was just saying, that was the first caller, he was saying that they should sell CFL products, but they sell other products as well. Good evening, caller. Please go ahead with your question. You are final caller.
Hello?
Please go ahead, caller.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Please don't listen to me on your television set. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, I was just saying to Clinton that we must pay attention to the fact that supposing no one had purchased GL foods, what would the situation have been, apart from the people being laid off and the rest? You would have ended with still CFL in the market as the dominant player. So for me, whether CFL bought GL or did not buy GL, they would have continued to be the dominant player. So I think it is an added advantage that the CFL has an extra outlet, and through that they have created more employment or kept employment going, and would be in a position to perhaps offer a different type of product from the activity at the Baywalk Mall, and service perhaps a different market segment. So I really don't know whether we should even be having a long discussion on the takeover.
Well, I mean, it speaks to variety as well. Thanks for your contribution. It speaks to variety as well, because you have a GL food market which which carries certain products, and some of those products CFL does not carry. And you know, sometimes we have to be innovative as well. You know, there might be a few St. Lucians who may not have enough money to buy CFL, to buy GL food. But if they come together, they'll have enough money to buy it. You know, individually they'd not be able to do it, but collectively they could do it. You know, create a company where you have shares in that company, open it up, you know, put an IPO out and open it up to the public, where members of the public can buy into that company, and you have a different sort of business developing, business model developing. So, I mean, sometimes we sit and we complain about things around us when we are in a position to affect the outcome of things, you know. So that's just something to throw out there. Mr. Polius, final words from you for this evening, that is.
Well, as has been implied in my many statements, we don't, our fears about these sort of situations, as I said, is the restrictions on choice. Because we as a consumer, in the consumer organization, would like to know that the consumers have a wide range of choices from which to choose from, and from which, based on the decision, and make decisions based on those choices. We also have the fear of the potential for increased prices because of the monopoly situation. These are two of the fears we have. And then we are hoping that, especially the second one, doesn't come to reality, that there is no increase on unnecessary, that there are no unnecessary increase in the price of goods, and that the consumer continue to get the products at reasonable prices. So these are the two main concerns we have about these issues. But generally, the takeover in itself, or the merger, is not really something that is very disturbing to us, because as long as it doesn't, as I say, adversely affect the consumer. I heard Mr. Shasny say that the business model of GL Foods will continue. Well, so let us hope so, and let us hope that the range of products will also remain as much as possible.
And I hate too much government involvement in a market system, you know, where the forces of demand and supply affect the choices that people make, and also how businesses survive in the market or fail. So, I mean, having government have an input, a major input into who operates in the market, unless there is something that is unethical, unprofessional, or illegal going on, then I think government should, for the most part, stay away from those kinds of involvements. So I want to thank you again, Mr. Polius, for being our guest. Mr. Polius, Mathiaus Polius, is the Vice President of the National Consumers Association, and of course, every opportunity they get, they try to recruit members. So I guess you can get in touch with the NCA at their office at Sanssouci, is it?
Yeah. At
Sanssouci, and get more information on what they do and how they're trying to assist consumers with their rights. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Clinton Reynolds. Just a program note before we leave. Tomorrow evening, Dolor Factor Live continues here on DBS 8:30. So be sure to join Delia Dolor for another exciting program as always. And God willing, this weekend I'll be here with a friend of mine, a media colleague, to discuss the major developments in news for the past week on the Press Club. So join me and my guest right after the news on Saturday evening for the Press Club. Until that time, I'm Clinton Reynolds. Have a good one.